Hi everyone, and welcome to our video Balancing 101. So I know balance poses, especially in yoga, are something that we have a lot of, and especially folks practicing at home via YouTube or an online subscription service sometimes don't have deep teaching and practice in how to improve balance to become better, other than all of us just saying keep practicing, which is true. But I want to show you a small series today that can help you improve your balance if you practice it over time. It'll only be about 10 minutes, and there are going to be some of my best tricks that I show my students to help improve their balance. Now, I want to tell you this before we start. Balance is a head game, no doubt. So I want to make sure that you know that it's okay if some days you struggle and other days it seems like everything's clicking into place. That's really normal, and that's all of us. Okay, so all you'll need today is an open space. If you practice with a mat, use your mat. Now, since we're practicing balance, I would suggest being on a hard floor or on a carpet that is not very plush, so is kind of thinner, maybe a rug or something, just because it's easier to balance on a solid surface. And we'll pause, and what I'm gonna have you do is take your feet underneath your hips. We're gonna start in Tadasana, or a mountain pose. Arms are by your sides, and I'll have you shift your weight around from front to back and side to side so that you feel your feet on the floor. So much about your body balancing in space has to do with how your body understands its proprioception, which is just a really big sciencey term for how it understands where it is in space in relationship to other things. So we'll just practice some of that proprioception here, shifting the weight around. Lift your toes up a little bit and spread your toes. Put those toes back down, press the soles of the feet to the floor, and let the whole body lengthen up so you're nice and tall. Thighs are strong, glutes are strong, that's your tush. Belly's nice and strong. Settle your shoulders somewhere comfortable. Then I always like to start this way, making ourselves feel a little bit taller, one side of the body at a time. So inhaling, I'll have you lift your right arm up towards the sky, lengthen up towards the fingertips, stretch, 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 and let's lean out a little bit to the left. And then slide back down. And likely you'll notice that first side of the body feels nice and tall and the other side kind of feels crunched. So let's do the other side. Inhaling, we're gonna slide the left arm up towards the sky, lengthen through the fingertips, stretch, 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 and then lean out to the right. And then let's come back up to the top and lower the arm back down. So we should feel nice and tall through the torso. Next, I'll have you shift your weight to your right foot. Hands are gonna come into prayer pose, actually for a couple really good reasons. And the main one being that it is easier to balance if you have all your weight in towards the center of your body and your arms weigh something, right? So sometimes if you're in a big balance, you could have your arms out by your sides, but for this, let's put them in prayer pose in front of the breastbone. And we're gonna lift the left foot up and just come onto the left toe. Now that left toe is giving you enough sensory feedback that your brain won't freak out thinking that it's only on one foot. Nice long breath here. And then we're gonna lower the foot back down. We're just gonna do this one more time, shifting the weight to the left foot, coming up, or the right foot, excuse me, coming up to the left toe. And then we have a step 2 of this. I'm gonna have you flick the left toes off the floor. Nice long breath. And then release and come back down. Wiggle, shimmy, move if that feels good. And we'll go the other way. We're gonna shift now to this left leg. Hands come into prayer pose. We're gonna come up to the right toe. Nice long breath. and then lower the foot on down. We're going to come back up to that second time, bringing that right toe to the floor. Most of the balance is on the left leg. We're just teaching your brain that this is a safe position to be in. And then we're going to flick, take the right foot off the floor. People are often surprised how that little flick, which isn't that much different than what we do in tree pose in yoga, really can make a difference if you started your toe on the floor first. And then release and come back down. Wiggle, shimmy, move. Let's bend the knees and hang forward just for a sec. Stretch out the low back. Maybe tuck your chin and move your neck around. And then hands come to the thighs. Inhaling, you come up to the top. So part of balance is having strong and stable legs. So I'm going to give you something to work on, because this is one of my favorite things that is always in my personal practice that actually helps me maintain my balance. So I'll have you come to the short end of your mat. Feet are underneath your hips. And I'll have you bring your arms above your shoulders. We're going to start this in Utkatasana, which is chair pose. So have you bend your knees. Make sure your glutes are working. Nice long breath. I'm going to have you shift your weight here to your right foot, lift your left foot up, and step your left leg directly behind you. Now, at first when I started practicing this, because this is now coming into crescent lunge, I really had a hard time controlling that movement. But over time, let's step back into chair pose. And then shift the weight to the right leg and step the left foot back. Over time, I was able to control the movement better. And that controlling of the movement helped with the practice. So bring your feet back to the front of the mat. Wiggle, shimmy, move. It's okay if you feel out of breath here. I sort of do too, and I practice this almost every day. Let's step back now with the right leg. So we're going to start in chair pose. Arms are above the shoulders. And bend the knees. Wiggle and shimmy if you feel like you've got to shift something around. Then we're going to take most of the weight to the right leg, or to the left leg, excuse me, and step the right leg back. Let's step forward again, back into chair pose. And then step back into our lunge. Let's step forward again. Feet come together. Hang forward. And have a rest. Hands come to the thighs. Inhaling, you come up to the top. Okay, so I honestly think those two moves are the best way to start improving balance poses. Next week up on the channel, we're going to have a flow that incorporates a few more of those balance poses into our movement. So I can't wait to share it to you. I'll see you next time. Bye.